Welcome back to the lab, folks. So look what we have here for you today. This is a new tweezers from FNIRSI. It's the LCR-ST2, which is a follow-on from the LCR-ST1, which we did review a while back. In fact, I think it won the shootout of the little tweezers that we did. I'll leave links to those videos up above or down below or both, and you can go back and check that out. But let's have a look at it here. Let's get it out of the box. Something else in there. Now, full disclosure, I have been playing around with this just a little bit, so it has been out of the box before. Intelligent Bridge Tweezers Q&A Handbook, question and answer handbook. So, and I think this is a QR code to the documentation. I'll leave a link to the documentation below as well. And we've got our QC, and we have our manual here. It's in Chinese first and then in English. Let's just go over the details of it. It tells you what you can expect as far as specifications are concerned. It's got these Kelvin tweezers here, which is a unique feature of this particular meter as far as I can see. There may be others out there like this one, but let me show you that. And it's got a USB cable here for doing charging and firmware upgrades. And over here we have a little pouch with a set of resistors for calibration, all the way from 0 ohms up to 10 megohms in decades. A couple of spare tips. These ones are curved ones. Now I will note here that I did notice that these tips here don't have any serrations on them. And the tips on the previous model had the little serrations on them, so they're better for holding on to small components like leaded components. These ones without the serrations don't do that quite as well. And there's this here, which is a little, we've got two. Bonus. This is doubly checked. This is a little metal plate with a sticky pad on it, and I'll show you what that's for after I show you the tweezers themselves. There they are. Let's do the peel back here. Wonderful. So on the back of this thing is pretty unique. I think their previous models got this ability as well, but on the back here is a magnet, and that magnet can hold the weight of the instrument. So you could put that up onto a bench or something like that with the sticky tape on the back, and then have your meter hanging up there ready to go for you. So that's another neat little feature. And of course, it's the nice little case that it comes in. Typical FNIRSI style, colors, and everything else. Okay, let's have a look at the meter itself. Just let me set up for that so we can get a little bit closer to the camera. Now, it drops you in here, but I believe in the settings menu, which I'll show you next, you can drop into any one of the particular different functions of it. So it's the LCR function, you've got the scan function, you've got the sort function, and you've got the voltage reading function. So this is, I think the specifications say it'll read anywhere from about -30 to +30 volts. We'll just check that out on a single voltage. There's one thing I want to check about it. And then you have the settings. So let's go into the settings here. Now this control lever here is what I'm moving things back and forth. So you can go back and forth like that with it, and you press it to select. So language, you could choose Chinese or English. I will choose English, and then you have the speeds, slow or fast. I prefer slow. The readings are a little bit more accurate than fast, but if you're in a real hurry, you can go to fast. It doesn't really take that long on slow to make up its mind. Start page, this is the place here. So if you're in the start page here, you can choose voltage, filter. Filter is the sorting mode, a sweep, LCR, or the main page. I'm fine with it being on the main page. And orientation, right-handed or left-handed or auto. So I'm right-handed, I have it set on right, but you can set it to left-handed if you're left-handed, or you can get it to choose for you in case you have to switch hands. Brightness 0 to 100%, I have it at 100%. Volume 0 to 100%, I have it at 100%, but it may bother people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that down. I can't hear it very well anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. And auto power off. I have that off right now, but you can set it for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. And calibration. So this would be short circuit, and then goes through all those different resistor values. And I think there's also a voltage calibration as well. I've already done that for the resistor values, so it takes quite a while. So just be aware of that. When you go into the calibration, give yourself a little bit of time. And this is the information about it. So it's a LCR-ST2. We're at version 1.5.1. I believe that's the latest version. I updated that when I got it. And factory setting. So that's it. That's the main menu. Okay, so let's go into the LCR functions first here. So in here, you're able to move along these different things up here just by pressing the button. These are the modes: auto, resistance, capacitance, inductance, diode. Now here you can change the frequency, so there's a good set of frequencies here. You get all the way from 100 Hertz, 120 Hertz, 1 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, and that's where the ST1 stops at 10 kilohertz, but this adds in 100 kilohertz as well, which is really good for finding out the true ESR of a capacitor. Okay, I do most of my testing at 1 kilohertz. I think that's a good place to start. If you want to test something specific, that would be better at a higher or low frequency, then you can change it from there. But for general testing, 1 kilohertz is fine. You can change the test voltage. So you've got 0.3 volts, 0.1 volts, 0.6 volts, and 1 volt. So again, that is extended over what the ST1 has as well. Also, briefly pressing the power switch will put you into hold mode, so you can hold a measurement. Now, if you're in any particular mode here, so we're in resistance here, you can change that to Q, or phase angle, or reactance. Go into capacitance, then we can select all those again. And it comes up here with series resistance. Also, if you want to press this button here, what it does is it gives you both the series parameter and the parallel parameter at the same time. So it's rather extensive, the user interface. So actually, let's go start measuring some things here with it, and we'll go from there. And let's go here into 0 ohms. So we're down at 1.0 milliohms. That's close enough for me. Here at 1 ohm, 996.7. So 10 is 10 right on. 100 is 100 right on. K is 1K right on. 10K. 100K, 1 meg, 10 meg. Okay, that looks pretty good to me, and certainly looks like it's within specifications. Okay, we're going to check out a couple of diodes. I've got these two diodes here. One is a Schottky and one is a silicone. I wonder if we could tell which. Now, it's in diode mode, but in diode mode, I will note that you cannot change the frequency or the voltage. So you're stuck with a 0.6 volt output, which means you're not going to be able to check out LEDs with this. It's strictly for signal diodes. So okay, well let's get one of them off here, and let's get one of them over here so we can check it. And we've got to be able to do this without touching the diode or the 0.63 volts. Now you can see that the orientation of the diode is pointing down, and the orientation of the symbol is also pointing down. So it does give you its polarity. And let's switch that around to see if we get the same. So we've got 0.63 there. And we'll switch it around the other way. And we get the same. Good. And you can see, of course, that the diode is looking up now. So this one here must be the Schottky diode. Let's put it facing up, and there we go. Perfect. So that is diode mode. That works too. We have some ones here, and I'll put this in auto here, and we'll see what it makes of these in auto mode. So we've got a string of resistors and capacitors down along here. I might have some trouble reading those values, but let's see what it says anyway. So I think this is supposed to be 10 ohms here. It's right on. This is 100 ohms, right on. 1K, but they say it's 0.9998. So let's see, does it say 1K or? Yeah, that's close enough. That's within spec. 9.995, it says 10. And 99.92, it says 100. So all that's pretty close for me. So now I think this is 105 picofarads. So let's see if it gets it that this is a capacitor. Yeah, 101.3. I can't really read what that says actually, so I'm just guessing it says 105. Okay, this one, I can read this one a little bit better. It says 102, 1.02. I guess that's nanofarads. So it's coming up at 918 picofarads, reading that one a little bit low. Okay, that one is clearly 10.21. What's that? Oh, I can't see that older. Come on. There we go. 9.90. So it does seem to be measuring these a tad low. 101.9. Let's just call that 102. What does it say here? 100 and I can't read that last digit there. 100 and something. 943. So I don't know. No, oh, 957. Yeah, okay. 10.14. That one's clearly marked. 10.14. 9.044. It does seem to be reading the capacitors a little bit low. I don't know if that's due to the temperature or not. I don't think they would be that far out. Maybe these handwritten things here, I should just really do these over again with a better meter to have those. So okay, well that's checking it out there with the tweezers. But here's the magic. I think maybe you have to turn that off here. So you can just disconnect that. It's got a USB type A style connector on it. And there's the meter itself. Now at this point here, put on these Kelvin leads. Now I haven't calibrated it on these Kelvin leads, and I believe if you really wanted good accuracy, you should do an open calibration, short calibration, and probably up to like 10 ohm to get these Kelvin leads calibrated. Now I do have some components over here that we can quickly check through. Let's turn it back on. Let's see what it makes of this 100 UF capacitor. 103. Now I think I measured that at 102. So it's measuring this one pretty well. This one here is supposed to be at 1 nanofarad. I think I measured at 1.003. So let's see what this makes of this one here. This one is measuring a little bit low. What if we bring the frequency up? So at 10 kilohertz, we're getting a much better reading here. This is a coil. It's supposed to be it's marked at 1,000 microhenry. Let's see what it comes up with. Can it see it as a coil? Yeah, it's got that. So I measured it at 967 microhenry. It's coming up at 967 microhenry. It's right on with this. I measured this one at 84.65 microhenry. And it's coming up at 82.7. So we're off by about 2 microhenry here, so about 2%. Okay, so this little one here is measuring more as a resistor. So let's actually go into inductance here. And I measured this at 8.08 microhenry, and it's coming up 9.2. So it's a couple of counts out. Back to auto. Now this here is a 1.016 ohm resistor. This comes up as 1.013. Fair enough. That's pretty close. That's a couple of counts out. 3 counts. One here is supposed to be 10 k ohms, almost exactly. Well, it would be within the resolution of this meter, 10 k ohms. And there we go, 10 k ohms. We have here 9.956 ohms. Yeah, it's got that right on. So yeah, it's definitely doing really well. Resistors and inductors is a little bit low on some capacitors. It got the electrolytic right on, the bigger capacitor, but the smaller capacitor seems to be just a tad on the low side. Personally, for me, for my use case, I think I'll probably leave it like this in this configuration, because I do have the LCR-ST1 in tweezer configuration. So I'll probably leave that like this and just leave it on my bench here for quick measurements. Now let's have a look at some of the other modes. Go into scan mode. So let's get a component out here. It's going through the different frequencies. Series resistance here, and you can look at the parallel resistance and the Q as the frequency changes. So that's a pretty interesting little mode here. So it basically gives you a matrix of values for whatever component you're testing over a wide range of conditions. Good, that's good. I want to test that voltage range on it. There's something specific I want to test about that. Let's go in there. Now let me get something here to test. There's a 9-volt battery here. It's a brand new 9-volt battery, but I don't know what the voltage is. They can range up and down. So we've got the positive going on to the black lead and the negative going on to the red lead. So let's see what it says here. 9.632. All right, so it doesn't put a plus or minus on it, but it shows the battery going down. So let's see if we change that around, if that battery faces up. And it does. So it does give you the polarity. Now, what does it say? 9.65 here, 9.64, 9.65. And what's it say the other way around? If there's a significant difference, that's a bit of a problem. No, the difference is less than 0.02 volts. So that's really good. And it keeps track of the maximum minimum there. So 9.65 was our maximum voltage, and our minimum voltage it read was 0.01 volts. Good. That's handy for just testing little voltage on the fly if you're going through and you just want to test to see if the 5-volt rail is okay or the 12-volt rail is okay. Rather than pulling out another meter, you have this in your hand ready to go, and it can do that for you. Just switch modes. So let me come out here, and I want to have a quick look at this sorting mode here. Now I think I know how this works. I'm not going to set it up or anything like that. So what you could do here is you can set the resistance. So let's say you're trying to sort out 100 ohm resistors. You can set that resistance to 100 ohms. And then you can set the tolerance. So you can set it to 5%, 1%, depends on what you're doing and what you need. And then you can sort through the resistors. You can test numerous resistors to get what you want. So just to show you here, I've got a random 100 ohm resistor. We'll put that into the jaws. And okay, so it passes. It's within 5%. So that would pass a 5% tolerance test. And that's what this does. So that is a great little feature. I like that a lot. Anyway, folks, there it is. That's my review. And thanks for coming out and watching the video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.